All right, for today's video, I am going to show off project number 6 of 25 for my 25 projects in 25 weeks challenge. Let's get into it. So first, my random story for today, which is going to kind of explain why I built this project. I've slept in a lot of weird places in my life. On a bunch of different boats, and I don't mean cruise ships, I mean like weird little small boats, on huts and hammocks on deserted islands, on the ground. One time I slept on the floor of a school gymnasium in Poland, like all sorts of weird random places, trains, cars, you name it, just you name it. But the weirdest place I've ever slept at was on a live active volcano, like at the top, like at the rim of the volcano. I talked about this in my last video. So I spent some time once backpacking through Ethiopia. So my friend and I, we heard that you can go up to the top of this volcano and sleep. So they take you up there and you spend the night. You see a nice sunrise. You go down to the little crater part and you see the volcano. So we're like, hell yeah, let's go do it. So we met up at the base of this volcano. There was a bunch of guides, a bunch of backpackers, and they take you up there to the top. So it's a really slow, long, I don't know, like couple hour good little trek. It wasn't like mountain climbing. It wasn't like really steep. You didn't have to have gear. It was just like a really long, gradual, just walk up to the top of this thing. We get up to the top, and I was like pretty shocked, kind of appalled, to be honest. It was so smoky up there. Like this volcano is really active. Like there was serious smoke and fumes pouring out of this thing like crazy. You could not breathe. It was thick ass smoke. I was choking. Everyone, was like coughing and trying to cover their mouths with like shirts or bandanas or anything that you had. It was like so sketchy. I couldn't believe it. They were like, okay, we're here. Now we're going to take you down to the crater. And it was midnight by this point. I was like, is this fucking safe? Like to be breathing this in and going down there? Everyone has flashlights and torches from their phones. And they take you down there. And they made it very, very, very clear that you had to be super, super careful. Because why? Literally 2 tourists died like months before. Literally fell into the lava and died. Literally died in the volcano. It's pretty wild. And I was like, could you imagine? I was joking with my friend. That might be an epic way to fucking go out. Just fall into a volcano. He's like, oh, I know, right? I asked, it's mean. I know. I'm a horrible person. But, I was pretty scared, to be honest with you. And I was like, this is so crazy. This cannot be safe. By the time, you go down to the actual crater part and you come back up, thank God, a breeze kind of shifted or came in. It was blowing all the smoke away. So like, here's your sleeping bags. You're going to sleep here. Where's the toilet? Just walk any direction. And so I shit you not, pun intended. You walk away and there's all these people squatting. There's no bushes. You're just like in the wide open. There's nothing. There's just people squatting down, with their jackets, trying to have some privacy. There's toilet paper flapping around in the wind everywhere. Shit everywhere. Everywhere. It's like you just like go out and take a dump on the side of this mountain. Like there's just nothing up there. There's nothing up there. You have to just use the bathroom right there. And it did not smell super nice. And mixed with those nice fumes from the volcano, it was quite an experience. Yes, there was a sunrise, and the sunrise was nice. And then they take you down, and you see in the light of day, the lava. That was actually really cool. It was pretty cool. But I'll never forget. I was laying there. I was trying to use my phone. Of course, the internet didn't work. Everything was super slow. Nothing was loading, and I was really frustrated. I've been to a lot of weird places, like where there's really slow internet, not great infrastructure. And the truth is, most of the websites, the apps, the services, they're built by people like me. Software engineers from California. I'm pretty guilty of this. We have $3,000 plus MacBooks. we have iPhones, we have really fast internet, and most of the web has become very bloated, slow, and it's just not built for the other half of the world, to be honest, with like crappy Android phones, bad infrastructure, bad internet. And it really frustrated me in my travels. Like, what about the dudes on the volcano? What about like these people in rural areas? What about people on islands? It's so bad, the internet experience for these people. So I have become obsessed with like everything I make. I really try to care about performance. So it works. It loads fast. It's not really bloated. And it works anywhere in the world. So that's why I created this. It's called Crazy Fast Website. And I tried my best to make one of the fastest websites on earth. No joke. Go try it out. How it works is pretty interesting. So I'm using what's called Cloudflare. They have servers all over the world. They're like a CDN. They are kind of the middle layer between a lot of websites and the internet. They have a lot of servers everywhere. They really know what they're doing. How this works is it's called on the edge. So there's all these servers everywhere in the world as close to people as possible. And you run your code on that little server. And it's like a little tiny micro server that serves things, that does things. So some of the fastest websites in the world, and I did a big deep dive into this, and I found the fastest websites in the world. And I was like, how do they work? And how they work is, they kind of cheat. It's really just a static, really, really small file. And what they do is they just cache that file. So there's a caching server that are right on the edge, so really close to people. One of the very fastest websites in the world. This is literally one of the very fastest websites in the world. The CDN that they use, so it's like the place where these files get cached, so it just serves it up as quickly as possible, nothing really running, just here's the file. They actually have a box, like kind of how Netflix does it. Like there's an ISP, so that's the people who give you the internet. They have a box right there in the server room where your internet goes to. So from your house, it goes to a server, your ISP. They have a box right there. And that CDN for that website lives in that next to Netflix. That's what Netflix does too. So the most popular content, it gets put in that server, like where your internet goes from your house to outside of the internet. It's right there. And that's how that's so fast. But the problem with that is that's just a file. That's kind of cheating. So I wanted to actually have a real thing that runs and that can actually make dynamic content. Like what if you had the fastest website in the world that wasn't just a file? That's so cheating. But actually a bit dynamic. So this actually runs in it actually runs with real JavaScript. And I did a lot of hacky stuff to make this work. I did all sorts of little there is an actual worker that gets put on your machine and things get cached. So as you can see, on Safari, this is, it gets down. Once that worker gets installed and is running, the thing loads in 1 microsecond. This is not possible to go faster than that. How the fuck is this thing so fast? Well, there's a little micro web worker that has every single hack I could fucking come up with to immediately serve the raw content of the page, kind of like a CDN does. It's like, here's a string of HTML. There's a little bit of stuff running, so like the robots TXT, the thing that the bots can go scan, the image for the social media, like all the little metadata to share this, that all gets served up dynamically. This is not a static file. This is a real goddamn website. And I tried so hard to make this as fast as humanly possible. Like every single millisecond, I really went deep on this. It's pretty cool. I'm pleasantly surprised. Has a real follow, real share buttons, a real form to subscribe. It's pretty fast. So what do you think? If you'd like to see all the technical tricks I did, let me know. I don't know if there's any interest. In the interest of time, I'm skipping over all of that. But so this is the result. Really is crazy fast. It always is under 100 milliseconds. My target was 25 milliseconds. So basically the speed of light. I know exactly where the Cloudflare server is. You can find out by going here, and it'll actually show you. Yes, I'm in London. So that is the server. It'll even show your latency. So for some weird reason, my latency is really, really, really high today. Higher than it was the other day when I was working on this. So I'm getting like really high times above 30 microseconds. But yeah, I'm obsessed with speed and performance because of, frankly, my experience with a bunch of crappy internet. So what do you think of this? If you want to know the technical details, let me know. But this is project number 6 of 25. If you're not subscribed to my newsletter, subscribe. I have this kind of things, and not just technical things, but lots and lots of weird, random. So it's from creators like me and people who just do really weird, wacky stuff. Like yesterday was a blog from a guy who spent time in Antarctica. You know, before that was a game, a really cool game. Like, there's so much random stuff. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Let's see if there's any questions or comments for today. All right, no questions and comments. Look, if you have a question, a comment, or hate mail, drop a comment. I will reply in the next video live to your questions or comments. And I actually do not read them. I read it live on the screen. So just to make it a little bit more authentic, let me know. So that's it for today. See you next time.